Welcome to Shardcast, the Brandon Sanderson podcast. We're a bunch of mega fans giving you the news discussion and, of course, all our opinions about Brandon's works and the Cosmere. I'm Eric, and joining me today is Grace.
Hello, I'm Gatorgirl.
Have we ever had you go second?
I don't know. I was thinking about it.
I was like, have we ever had you on without Ian or Evgeny? Ever? And I don't know if that's ever been the case.
Well,
I don't know. I didn't do an analysis, but welcome to the show. We love that. Also joining us is Adim.
Hey, I'm Ax on the Discord.
Hey, and last we got Bonnie.
Hi, I'm Cosmeregirl.
Hey, today we are going back to Wind and Truth, which is slightly dicey when it's been like 8 months since we read the book, and there's a bit in the book, guys. So an 8-month time gap is not necessarily the best, but we're talking about the Death Rattles in Wind and Truth. We thought it would be fun to finally go back and look through the Death Rattles that now we, know much more about. I think we did Death Rattles. When did we do these Death Rattle episodes? It's before the thumbnails got good. 6 years ago. So before even Rhythm Before. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go through most of the Death Rattles, but some of them are things like the True Glory one we saw, the Kaladin getting the light from the Parshendi and stuff. We got those. I guess there is the one where, there's the one in the storm where Kaladin awakens. That's one of the Rhythm Before ones. So cool. But we're going to talk about the many Death Rattle things that we have answered in Wind and Truth and things that still have not been answered. And so we're just gonna get on into it here. Guys, there's a lot of these Death Rattles that are like, hey, the Night of Sorrows, the Night of Sorrows, the True Desolation, the Everstorm, it's coming, guys. And so some of those we yeah, it did. We did do that. That is true. Correct. So we're not going to do that necessarily.
I remember in our last, or maybe it wasn't Death Rattles episode specifically, but I remember in the past, fighting that the Night of Sorrows was its own distinct thing that we hadn't seen yet, and that was a specific distinct thing from the Everstorm and the True Desolation.
Yes.
And now I don't have to do that anymore, and I was right, so...
The longer we got to the Everstorm not being referred to as the Night of Sorrows in these last two books, made me grow more and more certain of that being the case. When you see all of these Death Rattles using these three things interchangeably, and then they aren't, then yeah, there you go. Also, still rip the True Desolation name, because now we have no good name for the period but after the Everstorm, but before the Night of Sorrows starts. We have no good name. And I think the RPG book still uses True Desolation, and that got approved. And there you go. Fine with me, honestly. But Grace, do you want to do this very first one? We're going to start with the Death Rattles that are kind of the ones answered in Wind and Truth. We have lots of chapter titles that have Death Rattle names, so it's very clear. When the Death Rattle is referred to in the chapter title, it's happening. It says True Glory, there you go. That's what it's talking about.
The love of men is a frigid thing, a mountain stream only 3 steps from the ice. We are his. Oh, Stormfather, we are his. It is but 1,000 days and the Everstorm comes.
This is a throwback to this is from the prologue of Way of Kings. So
yeah, this is the very first Death Rattle, which honestly, baller Death Rattle. When you read Way of Kings, what the hell is going on? What is this?
Was that suitably Death Rattle-y enough?
That was good.
Reading?
I don't think I'm gonna do that necessarily, but I appreciate that. I mean, definitely we are his. It's Odium 1. It's Retribution. There you go. That makes sense. I think with this one, it's 1,000 days, and that was until Battle of Narok, I think. I think that was the timeline on this. Oh God, we don't have Joff here to help with the timeline. I don't know.
I don't know. The note from the Coppermind says that it's 1,227 days before the advent of the Everstorm.
Okay.
And then there's
so that would be Battle of Narok. So yeah, I don't think that works for
1173. Yeah,
I don't think that works to get to 1175, but that's fine.
It's rounding.
It's rounding.
Yeah.
Look, if
For
it's
dramatic
1,200
effect.
days, are you just gonna say it's 1,000 days? Like, of course you're gonna say that. Like, if you say, "Oh yeah, it was 1,000 years ago," it's like, okay, that could be anywhere from 1,000 to like 1,500 years. I feel like,
Yeah.
like
And this is maybe a pedantic place to insert this sort of discussion, but we do know that the death rattles are from like the perspective of someone
yes.
who is like not the someone who is dying. And so,
Well, is
you
it
could say,
always the someone? I don't know if that's always the case, but it's usually the case.
yeah, I guess.
What this, Eric?
Yeah.
What this actually predicts is that in 227 days, there's another person who's going to realize that the Everstorm comes in 1,000 days.
There you go.
Exactly.
It's predicting that event, not the actual Everstorm coming.
I
reading
don't
it
know
as
if that's
it
the
is-
case.
Reading it as it is but 1,227 days just doesn't
that's-
roll off the tongue quite the same.
And let's be honest, Brandon did not have the timeline worked out when he wrote Way of Kings in this death rattle. 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
He's like, it's around 1,000 days. That's fine.
Close enough. Close enough.
I like that. We like the foreshadowing in prologue epigraphs. That's good stuff. A lot of these that are like, it's the Everstorm. It's like, yeah, okay. We don't have a lot to talk about, guys. Like, yeah, we know. Well, we'll have more spice to talk about pretty soon. But Adam, let's do this next one. I was very interested to see this one in Wind and Truth. So this one's good.
Yeah, this has been a staple of oh no, sorry, this is a different child one. Okay. So a man stood on a cliffside and watched his homeland fall into dust. The waters surged so far beneath, and he heard a child crying. They were his own tears. Yeah, and then this is another one. I don't think we need to note every one of them, but most of these, or many of these, as you know, are collected by the Silent Gatherers, and they leave a little note about whom it was who died. But as far as I can tell, that doesn't really have any significance.
No.
It's just some flavor.
That's flavor. That's right. I think what we'll do for this episode is we'll just note the ones that aren't the Silent Gatherer ones and say who it is. That might be the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
But you can see it on screen if you want. And so when did this one appear in Wind and Truth?
So this is a chapter title. The first one that in this list that we'll be reading that is a chapter title. It's the chapter where Dalinar he's arrived back in Earthru, and he's climbing up to begin the contest, and he's sort of ruminating on. Oh no, sorry. This is
no.
him ascending to honor.
Yeah. He's literally
like
just became honor, I think, in this one.
Okay.
So this is he becomes honor, and this is where like he and Odium are like, oh yeah, I guess we gotta fight, and with the agreement in the Tanvas flashbacks, honor could still strike Odium, and Odium could fight back, and that was always how it could be. But it would, destroy everything. And so he's like seeing the wave of power of like everything being destroyed, which we got all the way. Like it was that last one in Way of Kings, the last vision where like everything's being destroyed and he sees the Almighty that last time. And that's referring to Dalinar just destroying everything and striking Odium. And I think that's excellent.
I like the idea of obviously this to some extent this is all metaphorical, but I like the idea that the child crying, Dalinar is a child in the sense of gods and shards in this moment. He is newly ascended. I don't know that that's necessarily what it's intended to mean, but I just sort of like that parallel that
Well,
sort of explanation.
It's also interesting because going through the chapter, Gavinor is there and is crying, but you know.
Yeah, I think that the death rattles are pretty consistent in terms of the ones that are foreshadowing Dalinar fighting Gavinor. They all refer to him as a child.
Yeah.
You know, it's not necessarily saying that he is a child, but sort of the overarching poetic language refers to him as a child.
Well, but I agree with Grace as like with the tears are his own tears, you know, Dalinar's tears. Like there's that poetic ambiguity there, which I do quite enjoy. It's like he did hear a child crying, but like it's also his own tears. And I do like that. Yeah, he's just the new shard on the block. And that chapter also has like the Nohadon vision. And so this is the whole chapter where Dalinar like chooses. Yeah, I'm renouncing my oaths. I'm not doing that plan. That's a bad plan.
In a way, the child could also be honor.
Oh, that's true. That's also true. I like this because this is a vision we've seen so much, but it didn't come true. You know, like I feel like it's easy to get in the mode of it's like, hey, the Night of Sorrows, it's coming, guys, and it's like it's a sure thing, but like they are not, right? Cool. This next one, I don't think any of us expected would come in this book this way at all, ever. I'll read this one, Bonnie.
Sure. 10 people with shard blades alight, standing before a wall of black and white and red. So we're talking about potentially the unoathed.
It's in the chapter with the unoathed.
Right?
Yeah. That's what it is. So yeah, I always assumed that this was talking about the heralds back in Way of Kings, and
I always assumed that we'd get another moment, like at the end of Oathbringer, where Dalinar counts off.
We gotta count
1,
to 10.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. I feel like there should be a 10th here. Like
we must count.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't for a second believe that the unoathed was like the original intention for this death rattle.
No.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I do wonder if there's like maybe a close reading of sort of the period, the sections where Adolin is like infiltrating the palace, and there's probably a few characters who were sort of inserted into the group so that they could
have 10.
Like Brandon maybe decided, you know, in Wind of Truth that, oh, you know, I want to do this. And so it's like, okay, I need to throw in a few more people to this group so that we have 10 people.
That's probably true.
But yeah, I mean, it certainly, I guess it's ambiguous enough that, you know, the wall of black and white and red is just singers in general. So you can have any group of 10 people with shard blades and you'll meet this.
Fighting Voidbringer-y guys. It's like, hey, cool, we got it. Like, we know that in Way of Kings, like, Brandon, in revision, gave Adolin more stuff, right? He split Dalinar and made Adolin into more of a character there. And obviously that's grown. And so I think in Wind and Truth, we've seen that grow across 5 books, and he had an awesome arc in Wind and Truth. So I think this is Brandon, like, taking that death rattle. It's like, oh yeah, it totally makes sense that can just be like heralds fighting in desolation, but now it's a prophecy thing, and like that's fine. I think that works perfectly fine, but I do not for a second believe that this was the plan. Like I do not at all believe that.
I wonder if he had a specific plan in mind for this one, or was just leaving it open, knowing that something would make sense here.
Well, this is always the thing with Brandon's foreshadowing, that like there's sometimes things that like fit really well together, and then there's other things that fit well together that I'm like, was this always the plan though? Was it though? And I'm just not sure. So, but I think with Adolin, I'm confident to say that this was not the original plan as of Way of Kings. It could have developed later, though, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. I think the situation of the unoathed sort of feels like it lends itself to so many like potential poetic turns of phrases or whatever that could have made their way into this. Oh, yeah. That didn't.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. This next one is a classic one, subject of much discussion. He must pick it up, the fallen title, the tower, the crown, and the spear. Was Grace, do you approve? Was that pretty good?
That was good. That was good. I approve.
I didn't expect I would do that, but I did. So there you go. And this is the one where Kaladin becomes Herald. That's this chapter. Okay, what are these symbols? I gotta figure this out here. So what's going on? So,
well, the tower and the crown are the Cullen house symbols.
That's sure. The cape that he gets, right?
Where he's going to be the heir to Urithiru.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't put the cape on like right before he ascends.
Yeah, no, I think he puts on a cape. Yeah, no, he totally does.
I'm pretty sure he does.
It's still the part in the book where, like, the other heralds are like, but Jezrien, is a king, and Kaladin's like, well, it's a matter of the heart, but. Also, though, I was named the heir of, Urithiru. I'm like, this is a little weird, but okay, that's fine. I do like that. I like the creating of the honor blades spear, like that. That's
yeah. I think that. So when this was written, Brandon definitely would have known that the House or Dalinar's glyph pair is the Tower of the Crown.
Yeah.
So I think there's an argument that, I think that his glyph being the tower is like foreshadowing the sibling, but I guess you could argue that in this death rattle there could be an interpretation where like Brandon may have been thinking the tower as like someone as the. I don't know. I think that there's potential. You could sort of torture the text and come up with other explanations for what this could have been before we got the answer for what it actually is, but I think it's a pretty well tied together death rattle to actual answer. Just
a little bit of a tangent, but it's awfully convenient that Dalinar's symbols were the tower and the crown before he became king of Urithiru.
Look, some fortune shenanigans, spiritual realm to justify the author doing cool things. Okay, like that's fine. But yes, it is funny. Yeah, I imagine Brandon always knew that Kaladin would be a herald. That feels like part of the plan.
Yeah.
Chana being Shalon's mom, I'm still like, I don't know. It's like maybe eventually, but I'm still a little skeptical. But I think the main character beats he's got a thing for here. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I was just thinking of if there was some potential route for Kaladin's story that could have given him the tower and the crown without making him like become heir to Dalinar or something. And I can't really think of anything that's that fits with what else we know about the.
That is true. Wonder if he just comes back and is like, actually, I am the king of Urithiru now. What's up?
I do remember that kind of discussion happening when the book came out of like, is Vernard actually, should he be the or should he be, king of anything, or should Yasna be queen of anything because of what Dalinar did, or
Urithiru, we're a democracy now, and Kaladin's like, but I'm the king of Urithiru. What are you talking about?
I'm the king of this democracy.
That's right.
Maybe Alethi law will still hold, and he can just conquer the capital. And
we are back doing Wind and Truth episodes. We get Alethi law memes, guys. That is what you want out of this. Grace.
The burdens of 9 become mine. Why must I carry the madness of them all? Oh, Almighty, release me. So this is Ishar.
So when Ishar is taking like that pain there, and Kaladin standing back up in that chapter, in that confrontation, I guess there's room for like this to both be referring to things in the past, right? With Talon, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But also have an additional layer of meaning, kind of with the 10 shard blades, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's fine. Like, when you're reading Way of Kings, it's like, okay, I think I kind of know. Okay, that's what's going on with town. Okay. And then there's this other interesting aspect. I like that. That's fun.
But does Ishar, like, make it significantly worse, too, by drinking from the Well of Control or something? Like,
It didn't seem like the best idea by going to the Well of Control for Ishar. Yeah, no. No. And, like, connecting... Look, Shinovar was not doing good. Like, it was not good.
He was doing his best.
The government is over in the other place in the other capital that we don't know, but like, the places we went to, it was not
like
good.
the obvious reading of this was that this is like the perspective of town on Breeze or something.
Oh, for sure.
Before we read Wind and Truth.
Yeah.
But I guess that you could argue that saying that it's not town is like it is kind of, you could question, given what we know about town as of like Oathbringer, the idea that he's asking to be released.
That's true.
From this, that's sort of untown like.
That is actually very true. He would not
that's
ask
very
to.
true.
He would be like, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's
bring
true.
it on. Give me more. Let's go.
Give me more.
That's fine.
Give me more.
Yeah.
I can take it.
Yeah. That's a good
Of
point.
course, without knowing about the Well of Control or anything like that, there's no real like alternative explanation for what this could have been before we
Sure.
learned about the
Yeah,
stuff in Wind of Truth. But
that's fine.
Yeah.
I think the analysis on this next one's going to be pretty tough, Adam. I don't know.
Okay, well, I'll see if I can leverage my years of experience to make this work.
Yeah.
This is, the light grows so distant, the storm never stops. I am broken, and all around me have died. I weep for the end of all things. He is won. Oh, he has beaten us. So
There you go.
pretty clearly, yeah. This is another one of those Everstorm chapter or descriptions. I know that before Wind and Truth came out, there was speculation that the so-called Everstorm up until that point wasn't like its final, like there was something more that was going to happen.
Sure.
Like it was called the Forever Storm, I believe, by some people.
That's true. I'm remembering this now. Yes, the Forever Storm.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Third Storm, Cultivation's Storm. But that's
the
that's
one that
more
goes like this.
Yeah, the North-South one, obviously. Come on.
Yeah, because it's like the Everstorm wasn't really more ever than the High Storm.
No,
like
that was a weird name. It was always a weird
circling.
name. Yeah.
This sort of ties into that of like talking about the storm never stops. I mean, I guess you could say the High Storm never stops either, but
yeah, but it's like it's everywhere. It's omnipresent, right?
Yeah. And so just sort of to tie this into Wind and Truth specifically, it's the chapter title for right when like retribution sort of happens and starts eating things, and the sibling has to activate their defenses, and the Oathgate's friend just sort of walk away. And so
yes,
sort of like when people realize when the reader is sort of, okay, there really is no
this is bad. Yeah
And
then this is the chapter, the very next chapter is Night of Sorrows, which is an excellent chapter title, guys. But yeah, like I like this one with the light grows distant, check. All around me have died, yeah. I mean, yeah. And the end of all things, he's beaten us. Like, there you go. Brandon has clearly had the idea for post-apocalyptic Roshar, Voidlight Archive for the back half for a very long time. So
yeah,
definitely like in our interview, Brandon he wasn't certain that it would be like this Teravangian stuff, right? With the contest, because Teravangian didn't have to become Odium. But I definitely believe that one way or another, there was going to be this black storm over everything. That's how it was going to work.
Must be, it must be nice to finally be able to talk about it too.
It makes this conversation a lot easier, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, Bonnie. This one before Wind and Truth, obviously was everyone's favorite death rattle for sure.
Yes.
Yes.
So, I hold the suckling child in my hands, a knife at his throat, and know that all who live wish me to let the blade slip, spill its blood upon the ground over my hands, and with it, gain us further breath to draw.
Child champion death rattle here. This is the one.
See, I feel like this death rattle tricked us all into thinking that like child champion was a cool idea, and then you actually see it in action, and it's like, I don't know about that. It sounds cool here.
Yeah. So I know we said we wouldn't really be mentioning the Silent Gatherer sort of attributions that these death rattles have, but this one's interesting because it says sample is of particular note. And, I don't really know how in world they will decide that this is a particular note, but it does imply to me that, Brandon really wanted the readers to note it, take note of this. And,
okay. So there's the out of universe perspective where Brandon's like, hey, it's right there.
Pay attention.
Guys. Pay attention.
I wonder if in universe the Silent Gatherers thought this referred to themselves and used it to justify what they were doing.
Oh, that's
that's
this
true.
is killing the innocent to save the world. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Everyone in the world, if they knew the truth, would support this.
I like that.
Yeah, because they're trying to use the death rattles to enhance, gain more information and expand upon the diagram. So yeah, that.
And in one of these, they talk specifically about draining blood too. Why are you draining my blood?
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh, we'll talk
somewhere in
about
here.
that guy. We'll talk about that guy.
And so that makes sense.
Probably not a death rattle, but yeah. So obviously, the suckling child, not a child, he got aged up. I think that's a good decision. I thought that was cool, personally. We're allowed for the death rattles to be metaphorical because the True Glory one talks about two men, but it's talking about men as in humans, not human males, right? That's fine. I think it's fine for this to be, he was a child, but he's aged up. In the death rattle weirdness, I think that's okay here.
Yeah, and I think even then, he still has kind of almost like a childlike mindset when he does appear back, and everything is very black and white. He is angry at Dalinar for how he treated Elhokar and wants revenge. I don't think it's a stretch to still call him a child in some ways.
I mean, it's certainly Taravangian was giving Gavinor things to shape him in that way, right? But yeah, I'm sure Taravangian is deliberately making Gavinor think in this way, right? That's exactly what Taravangian is trying to accomplish there. What I like about this is that, all who live would probably wish that I just killed Gavinor, because what's going to happen is going to just be extremely hard for Oshar, right? And it was bad the way it turned out, but it is true, Grace. It would have been cooler if we had Dalinar be I have, child Gav knife to his throat and really feeling that anguish. And we certainly didn't get that, right? So that is fair enough. If you are not a child champion enjoyer, I am a child champion enjoyer, though. Do you have anything else about this one?
It's just a nice further breath to draw, breath, stormlight, that kind of thing.
Yeah, sure.
I guess you could maybe, speculate if there's any other meaning to it's just more time or more stormlight, whatever. But
well, there is that aspect of that, even if Dalinar won, that's maybe not the best call, right? And so it's a biding time, but it's not solving the odium problem, right? And it's not solving that. So I think that's kind of what that's getting into. That can I save everyone here? Yes. But long term, is that the best decision? No, I'm going to trust all of the people that I care about, that they will be able to survive, and we will actually fix this problem.
I think it's interesting how this one just is making it stand out to me, how they all are kind of poetic and how they're written.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's definitely that more formal prophecy tone here, which is, a pretty cool choice, because really, if we're experiencing these from the perspective, like a secondary perspective almost, you would think there may be more straightforward, I guess, and less obscure.
Yeah, the point of view for the Death Rattle is weird, because like this is almost like from Dalinar's point of view, in a sense, right? Like it's first person, right?
Yeah. And like this doesn't feel like how Dalinar would speak.
No.
So
None of them
interesting.
Do.
It's an interesting choice to use the poetic tone, but still have it be Dalinar's perspective.
It's almost like, I don't know if this works, but like we're seeing this possibility in the spiritual realm, right? And Moelach the Unmade is like, no, I'm gonna punch it off a bit.
I support this.
Like,
there is the
Moelach's personality is coming out. It's like, hey man, I gotta make it sound cool.
Dalinar says something. Moelach's like, hold on. I gotta fix that for you.
Hold on.
Let me make that better.
There is a I don't know if it's in this list or not, but there's another Death Rattle that was collected that has it's from like a child, and it's noted that their diction significantly improved when they were giving the Death Rattle or something. So just further evidence that it's not, the wording, like the specific wording isn't from the person who was saying the word.
Well, and I mean, I say this half seriously, but also half jokingly. We do know canonically Moelach does like the poetry, because he had the Ketek at the end of Way of Kings.
That's true.
Right? But
Moelach is a poet.
He's a poet.
I'm here for this.
We're here for the Moelach lore when we get to the Unmade, and we'll just see like Moelach's just some guy who's just like, yeah, I'm a poet, and he got turned into an Unmade.
Moelach is not a poet. I'm now going to be disappointed.
see what I think of with this, and to some extent this is kind of an out of universe thing, but Brandon has talked about like his prose is like a window and you use it to see the story, and some prose is like stained glass, and Renarin uses stained glass to see the future, so this is like the prose equivalent of stained glass being used to see the future.
This sounds like exactly the kind of, like when Brandon talked on Reddit of like, here's my artsy fartsy English major analysis of Wind and Truth and things. This sounds exactly like that sort of thing that Brandon like, oh yeah, I'm an English major. That's what I'm going for.
I definitely have brought it up in the past on Shardcast, I know, but I really enjoy when he switches from, letting the reader just kind of get through the prose without the prose getting in the way, to really bringing the prose to the forefront. I love the switch in tones there, and when that happens, there's a bunch of different types he does that.
It definitely draws attention to it, because certainly for me, I don't love, like, certainly there's books that can do it very well, that have that more literary style, for sure. It's definitely not a thing that I enjoy as much. Like, I like an easier read, but the advantage of doing this is you're really drawing attention to like, what is going on? What's up? And then you can have discussions for 15 years about, one paragraph. How fun.
Some authors really kind of back out of the way and let you get into the world, which Brandon does a lot. Some really go on and on with the prose, and I shouldn't say on and on, but they get really careful with the prose and really make every word stand out as more poetic. I think it's really interesting how he uses the contrast intentionally.
And he does it a lot with the epigraphs, like stuff like those Fabrial lectures have like a markedly different like writing style than the main book. Same for the in-world Words of Radiance. The really like opaque academic prose. And
How long do you think it took Brandon to write the in-world words of radiance? Because it is the most like you're using the most words to say like the least. Like that takes a lot of effort in like I feel like our modern time frame to like get it be really like that, you know. I kind of love it from a writerly
It's just his
perspective.
normal writing before it goes through revisions, maybe.
Yeah.
Teeny tiny bit of a tangent, but my favorite example of this recently was actually Wind and Truth with Shallan in the cognitive realm in Shadesmar, and she sees the tower. And Shallan is just going on in this incredibly poetic speech about this tower. And Radiant's like, you want me to take over? I was like, yep, tower's pretty. Let's go.
I totally forgot that, but
I love that.
Brandon's gotten good with Shallan with like those sorts of things. I do like that about the trio there. So just with Moelach, I know we were memeing a little bit, but it does feel like Moelach is seeing this possibility in the spiritual realm, translating it and making it into this more poetic thing. And yeah, like is changing the diction. So like the person dying doesn't need to even speak the language. So like the death rattle could just be in a different language. Does make me wonder why we don't get death rattles that is just like, yeah, this one's in Iriali, tough crap. But you know, like I don't see any reason why that couldn't be the case. I'm sure that's narrative convenience more than anything. Or
you could really play with that too, actually, is have only one person understand the death rattle. Yeah. Maybe pretend not to know it or something. Like there's a lot of fun you could have there.
I mean, it could just be that Moelach is like near like Alethi lands and it's like connecting to the land or something, right? Like there's lots of ways we can do this to make this kind of work. But it does seem like it's filtering that spiritual realm vision into this poetic thing. Moelach should be a poet, guys. That's pretty good, actually.
I'm calling him Moelach the poet now. He is. So.
Well, speaking of poetry, we're getting this one, which was maybe a bit controversial. So let's talk about that. I die, the scholar with a spear. I die by the hands of a friend. My friend screams in death. And I know that I have failed to lead. I am no captain. I am nothing. Fire strikes me, and my eyes burn. I do appreciate that the Copper Mines Death Rattle /list does put it like observed on the date. Like I do appreciate the commitment to the bit. But anyway, this was Leighton. This is a new Death Rattle. Guys, I don't know if we will be able to figure out who this one's about.
It may take a few years of close analysis.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough one.
With a whole scholar with a spear chapter title, Buyer name dropped.
Clearly, you know, Kaladin was planning to go to Carbron. He's a scholar.
No, get out of it. No, don't even.
There you go.
Don't even with
Kaladin.
that. No. Look, if the Death Rattles referenced in the chapter title, that's the canonical, that's the canon timeline true thing here. We talked about this in our Sigil episode, but YouTube comments did say, hey, this Death Rattle could still be prophetic later. It doesn't need to have been averted in this book. That's possible.
I'll say it. If fire shows up in Era 4 and kills Sigil, this will be redeemed to me.
Honestly.
Because that would be hilarious.
Yeah, but does he even have the Spren anymore, though? You know? Like, what would Sigil have?
Get a new one.
Yeah. Oh, good. A third Spren.
No, but my Spren screams in death. It's like your Spren is constantly screaming because it's already dead. I don't know.
Oh.
That's fair.
Don't do that.
That is a legit interpretation.
Oh, is that a good point? Do the Spren still? I guess they wouldn't. The Deadblades wouldn't scream anymore because they'd probably
I don't think they actually scream anymore. But
anyway, Grace, I love the crack theories. Welcome to the show, as always. Of course, this is why you're here. Oh, and it does say I'm no captain. So we just get Sigil a starship.
We need spaceship.
Yeah.
We need to get him a spaceship.
There you go. Okay.
There's a way to make this work.
Okay,
Crack this one, guys.
You know, was known to scream in the past, and then Fire shows up and kills him.
How Put your comments below if you want Moelach to be immortal and have Kaladin and Moash's feud go for the rest of the Cosmere. Does that sound good to you? I mean, I don't think that sounds good personally, but that would almost make it worth it to get Moelach to eventually kill Sigil to make this actually happen. That would be
if
very
we're following this, the chapter title is a red herring then.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that this is evidence in favor of the crack theory, but this is like the most wrong a death rattle has been.
Okay.
And so, I mean, visions of the spiritual realm, blah, 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 can always be, you know, fallible or what. Like maybe Moelach just got it wrong when he was peeking into the spiritual realm.
Well, to be in Poet Moelach's defense here, guys, the spiritual realm is a bunch of different possibilities. The one where, you know, Dalinar destroys the world, that one didn't happen. That's okay. That's fine. Lots of people thought that was a very reasonable possibility. Looking at this, it is actually funny that the chapter is called Scholar with a Spear, and the death rattle that the chapter title is referring to is in that chapter when Leighton. That is the chapter where Leighton dies. I'm like, okay. I still rate this a bit on the nose, so this is not one of my fave death rattles. And I do not actually believe that Moelach will become immortal and survive the Stormlight Archive series. I do think we need to have Kaladin and Moelach solve their differences in the next 5 books, please.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
I don't think I am.
Right now, we need to have the Moelach and Marsh fight. And the whole reason his name had to change to Vyre was because it was going to be really weird going Moelach, Marsh, Moelach, Marsh. Now it's Marsh, Vyre.
But like, it's even inconsistent in the book. You know, like sometimes Moelach, sometimes Vyre, you know? Moelach is a conflicted guy.
I feel like even if you just took out like the scholar with the spear, this would be much better, because then it's I die by the hand of a friend. My friend screams in death, and I know that I have failed to lead. I am no captain. I am nothing. A fire strikes me and my eyes burn. And it's like, okay, that could maybe be anyone on Bridgeford. Add some mystery, like.
Well, I mean, obviously the intent is that it is supposed to be referring to, you know.
Yeah,
I think I think that change of removing the scholar with the spear, or I would still remove it, but you could also just like reword it so that it's not like it's like what happened, like where Sigil breaks the oath and does all that, you know, still works with whatever this death rattle is, and then I guess it would also ideally be, you know, not in the same chapter in which this occurs, but you know, you could set it up where it sounds like Sigil's friend dies. And Sigil dies, but in actuality, it's him breaking the oath that's like causing all this pain and screaming or whatever.
I mean, the friend did die. He did renounce the oath. The friend did die. He is not a captain anymore. So there are elements of truth to it. His eyes didn't burn. Death Rattle isn't talking about getting nearly vaporized by odium at the end, but hey, there you go. And now, Grace, we have another new Wind and Truth Death Rattle.
I was going to say, do we need to do this one? But I guess if it's a new one, Wind and Truth,
this is a new Wind and Truth Death Rattle. We must.
It comes, the night of sorrows. I stand on the precipice of dawn and watch it advance, consuming all light, all life, all hope. It comes. This was said by Detty, Sigil's Windrunner Squire, a character I definitely remember.
Well, I'm glad you asked, because I word searched, and Detty is mentioned once before the chapter where Sigil's like, oh my god, Detty's dying. This is exactly once. And the earlier one is just Detty, a Windrunner Squire. That's it. So, you know, it's not supposed to be a memorable character.
Okay.
There, that's fine. Anyway, yeah, the Night of Sorrows is coming. It did consume all the light. The life is not doing well, and all hope. So there you go. Cool.
Hope remains in Azimir, or in his ear.
only there. That's right.
Well, there may be like pockets of sunlight that are wandering around, following the Tainah. We don't know.
That's actually a really funny thought. I like that. So now we're going to go into, we have some potential explanations. Maybe not. So these are going to be less explicit and not chapter titles. So there you go.
All right. I think a few of them are chapter titles, but it's still unclear what, if anything, in the chapter is relevant to.
Oh, really? In this book?
Yeah, there are a couple Wind and Truth chapter titles here.
Okay, cool. Okay. Oh, yeah, like the Choice of Honor. Yeah. Okay, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll get into it. That's what we'll do. Oh, and this next one is one of them.
Okay, so we have victory. We stand atop the mount. We scatter them before us. Their homes become our dens. Their lands are now our farms. And we shall burn as we once did in a place that is hollow, and they shall burn as we once did in a place that is hollow and forlorn.
Okay.
So I know that this has been a contentious one for a while in terms of what it actually means. And
yes,
this is a chapter title in the book. Unfortunately,
yes.
The chapter title does not really, or the contents of that chapter don't really help us figure out what exactly is being discussed here.
Yeah, because this one is like Adolin's in like the Lost. He's in Azimir. It's lost, and so like I guess you could kind of go with that. That's like, yeah, I mean they took Azimir. The things are bad, and that's the best I got. Because this is also one where Dalinar is talking with wit and things.
Yeah, Dalinar gets a Way of Kings Prime summary. I believe that's Way of Kings Prime.
Well, it isn't even really, kind of. It's very different in Way of Kings Prime, actually. But yeah, I guess it's just, yeah, they took Azimir, I guess. That's...
See, but my thing is, Braze is cold. Like... They will burn as we once did doesn't track with like spending time on Braze to me.
But didn't the heralds have like burning? There was the fiery hooks, right? And the herald torture.
Yeah.
So like I think
you could make an argument for Ashen.
Like to me, the idea of they shall burn as we once did makes more sense for Ashen, but I feel like broadly, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this one is weird because it does make more sense for it to refer to humans taking Singer land in the first Desolation. Mm-hmm. And so the Wind and Truth chapter title is less
What's the
explicit.
actual chapter title?
It's called Their Homes Become Our Dens.
Okay.
Oh. It's very clear.
That's pretty specific.
Yeah, it's very specific.
I was just going to say, I kind of feel like this is one of those things that sort of is maybe a symptom of the exact like order of events of like Exodus into First Desolation, like that like time frame not being super clear when Brandon wrote this. Because I feel like I agree that it's like supposed to be foreshadowing like the revelation about who the true Voidbringers are, but sort of like it's just sort of doesn't match up quite with everything we know.
Personally, I am fine with the events of chapter 127 of Wind and Truth to slightly evoke this feeling, right? But not actually be what this death rattle is necessarily about, what Moelach saw per se. Because I don't know. These are the spoiler words of Brandon that we really want. It's like, so in chapter 127 of Wind and Truth, their homes become our dens, but yes, it didn't really seem like it was in there. Yeah, anyway, we love the nerds. We're all nerds here, so you know we say this very much with love. Yeah, so that's what I kind of think, that it's referring to something in the past, but it's like a bit of a poetic echo of that in the future, maybe ish. Ooh, I'm looking at the chapter titles of Day 10, which all have excellent chapter titles. And the first one is the one with that which he must not know, which is not referring to a death rattle, but the sleeveless back covers, which I love that stuff because that's referring to Oathbringer's sleeveless back cover, I'm pretty sure. So Love stuff like that. Anyway, that one's weird. Oh, good. This next one will be far more contentious even. Great, good.
All right. 3 of 16 ruled, but now the broken one reigns.
Classic. We love that. We do not know what the broken one is. There has never been a reference to someone called the broken one. It's capitalized broken one, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, when we
all know Brandon is scientific with what he capitalizes, always.
Well, look, I'm just saying, Scholar with the Spear is capitalized, guys, right? Mm-hmm. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that we didn't have Night of Sorrows for a long time, which was capitalized, and then eventually we saw it, and it's like, oh, that's the thing. It's that. That's what it is. And so I think it's very possible that Broken One does not refer to retribution.
I would go so far as to say I don't think it refers to retribution. For what, like 3 of 16 to me is clearly
that's the shards.
Honor, Cultivation, Odium, or the 3 shards, and I think. But now the broken one reigns just feels very distinct to me. It like this is a distinct thing from the 3 of 16. The broken one is capitalized. I won't believe that this has happened until we see broken one capitalized somewhere in the book.
It's fair. It's a fair point. It's true.
I also don't really vibe with Retribution or Odium or any of them as like the broken one. Like that just never fully jived with me.
Okay, go ahead. Well, I was going to disagree with what you just said. Because in Way of Kings, the Stormfather's like, Odium reigns, right? And so then we have this Death Rattle, this is the broken one reigns. And so I think in Way of Kings time, we're like, okay, that could be Odium. Like, oh, there were 3, but now it's just Odium. Like, that's fine. Now, I don't think it's retribution, but I don't think it's retribution yet. Okay? He will be the broken one. And you know how he will break? With baby honor inside him, and that's going to break him. Because that's going to be the flaw. Yes!
But would she reign then? Like, once baby honor does the thing...
Yeah, like it's going to cause some conflict or flaw.
Be reigning?
Well, no. I guess, like, that's when he's going to get the title. Like, say, Discord, let's say, like another thing, right? Like, this dual shard will then be, like, an unstable thing. And that unstable thing will be in charge of Roshar, okay? It could kind of work, okay? Don't give me that look.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I agree that it's not something that has happened yet.
I'll be honest, that is less ridiculous than my crack theory.
Okay, please say your crack theory.
I'm ready.
All right, great.
It's that the broken one are the remnants of Edenolzium, like the wind, that are left on Roshar.
The old gods?
Old gods. And that eventually something's going to happen, and like either Retribution will leave to deal with other shards, or something will happen that'll break Retribution, and it'll be the broken one, Edenolzium, reigns on Roshar.
Oh,
that's mine.
Oh, no. See, it's even. I'll take that one step further, Grace.
Okay.
This is referring to after Stormlight 10. Okay. Mm-hmm. Retribution. He's out of here. We defeat. I don't know what happens, but I know we talked in one of our Wind and Truth episodes that Syl could become the Storm Mother, like merging with the wind, and like we get the. Like the end of Stormlight is we get like one of those like nicer high storms, and Syl is the Storm Mother, right? Mm-hmm. And so this is 3 of 16 ruled, but now we booted the shards out of there, and so now the broken one, Adenalcium, those remnants, rain on Roshar. And Roshar's like a nice place at the end of Stormlight Archive. There you go.
You're one of those, like, this is actually a mishearing and it should be rain, like a rainfall, people.
Actually, that's actually...
How would you know?
I don't think that's the case.
But that could literally happen because it's written down from what someone's saying.
Physically, someone is writing this down and they're like, which of these versions? Like, horse reins? Rains of the horse, the broken one?
I want to imagine scholars debating this in world.
The Silent Gatherers, this has big discussion. It's not of particular note, we should say. But the discussion, big.
Whole arguments.
Anyway.
Over you get the faction for rain and for the rain.
I though that is funny and realistic, I don't think Brandon would do that. It's kind of like, it's like, oh yeah, this is the important death rattle, but oh yeah, the Moelach just made the person say it in a totally different language. Get screwed. They said it in Dawn Chant this time. Sorry guys, we can't translate Dawn Chant. It's gone. But good. Well, there's a few broken one theories for you guys, if you like that. I like the crack theory. It could totally be the old gods in that way. Maybe the old gods merge into one old god, and then it is the broken one because it has these three broken pieces, and then it's one entity. Just think about it. It could. No? Okay, cool. Great. Well, let's move on to the next one. Ooh. I like this one. So the night will reign, for the choice of honor is life. This one is not one of the Silent Gatherer Death Rattles epigraphs. It is King Valam of Yakaved in Words of Radiance.
So I know we were joking about this, but this is when we're saying the night will reign would actually work for this.
Because the rain from the Everstorm.
It would actually work here.
Oh, I'm dying. That was really funny. Well, I'm just okay. Hold on. Is the night raining? I guess it is the night of sorrows. So we don't. It's poetry. It doesn't have to make logical sense, much to my chagrin. Okay, but that's fine.
To be fair, if it's spoken, the capitalization would also be a moot point. Because you don't necessarily speak capitals.
That's true. That's true. The Silent Gatherers are like, do I need to capitalize honor or what here?
And I mean, how often did we get the wind before we actually knew about the wind? And in this case, we're getting the night.
Yeah. This is a really weird chapter to have this chapter title, though. Yeah, this is the one that I always thought was the weirdest one. The Dens one is like, okay, whatever. But this one, I always felt like once we have the Night of Sorrows, like I thought this was referring to the contest and the choice of honor, and in kind of the way that like, oh, Dalinar has the knife, does not kill Gavinor. He made the choice of honor, and so the night will reign, right? Cool.
Yeah.
I think some of these ones at the end of the book are just like, well, there's too many about this one chapter, so we'll just put like a couple of them in surrounding chapters because it's all the end climax of the book anyways.
There are no Dalinar POVs in this chapter, guys. This is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, so just to catch people up on what does happen in this chapter, this is after Adolin has defeated Abidi and he's gathering the Unoathed, and then there's a scene where Renarin and Relene choose to destroy the gem that Bam is in, although they don't destroy it in this chapter. And then Seth renounces his oaths to Ox. And so of the if we want to assign the honor, the choice of honor's life specifically to something in this chapter, I think it's Renarin and Relene choosing to free Badu Mishram, but it's not really related to why the night will reign.
This
Yeah, okay.
This could also be more of a general thing of the choice of honor is life, and in this chapter we are seeing people make that choice, like before almost foreshadowing Dalinar also making that choice. With, if that I'm trying to. So, like, Adolin and is gathering his unoathed and is committing to fight. Renarin and Rlain are committing to break this jam. Seth is committing to break his oaths because he doesn't think Nail's way is right. And it's like, these are people making the choice of honor. And that is the thing that will ultimately lead to the Night Will Reign, but it's not necessarily these specific choices. It's kind of a stretch.
To be fair, Bottom Isham being released is a necessary requirement for Retribution to form. Necessary.
Yeah, it's true.
You cannot have that without that. Like Dalinar needed to ascend in order to break the oaths, and so the choice of honor. Okay, this could work with the Bottom Isham. All right, and then the next chapter, by the way, chapter 136, is where the contest begins. So that's what happens. So I could see this as, all right, it's the choice to release Bam, which allows Dalinar to ascend to honor, which then leads to Dalinar breaking the oaths. So the choice of honor is Bottom Isham, but Bottom Isham isn't like directly causing the night, although that would be cool. That would be really cool, guys. Like I would be into that if she did things. But okay, that kind of works. That kind of works maybe a bit.
It's a bit of a stretch, but it would be very fun too, because talking about the wind, the stone, and the night, if this was actually referring to capital Ed Night.
you're now all in the, like, no, textually, like, I'm going to change the capitalization of this. And to be fair, though, of any of the Death Rattles, the random one King Valam says in Words of Radiance, I would accept that as an explanation, because no POV characters would refer to capital N Night. So
Exactly.
They wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know.
That is acceptable, but
so imagine the Night Will Reign. How fun would that be?
I mean, Night left, so I don't even know what that means, but that would be cool. Nice.
It's
Grace.
my turn.
Yes.
10 orders. We were loved once. Why have you forsaken us, Almighty? Shard of my soul, where have you gone?
I don't think this is talking about a specific event. This doesn't have a chapter title. No, this doesn't have a chapter title.
No. I think it's generally like post-Recreant stuff.
Well, like, certainly, like, the 10 orders and, like, the Almighty forsaking them, that does definitely evoke the Recreant's time period where Honor's, like, not talking at all. Because Honor goes on his Tanavast's going on his sabbatical currently for, like, thousands of years. He's just like, I'm connecting with the land. That's what's happening, right? And so he doesn't talk with, like, anyone until the events of the Recreants, where all that stuff happens, right? I think that's the order of events.
And I just appreciate that phrase in there. Shard of my soul. What a great phrase. What a great in-world phrase.
I like that. Does that come up any other time? I don't think so. This is the one when the Honor is dead chapter title. I like that. That's good. We're looking at the Death Rattles. We're not looking at what chapter they're corresponding to currently. Shard of my soul. I like that. That would have been a fun one in the Recreants thing. But
yeah, it's evocative, but yeah, I think it clearly does mean honor.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like, it could be anything with, like, the Radiance not being considered good, like, a bit before the Recreants. Like, it does sound like from the perspective of a Radiant, right?
I was going to say maybe the Heralds, but I don't think they don't call Honor Almighty, do they?
I think that may have happened, but I would need to check. I feel like I'd need to see, like, some of those, like, day 5 Wind and Truth visions where, like, we're seeing, like, Ishar and, like, they're interacting with Honor and stuff.
Just randomly searching Wind and Truth for Almighty, and I saw Nail say, I will serve as best I can. I swear this oath, Almighty honor. I will protect this people in this land. So
Sure. So sometimes.
sometimes, potentially. Okay, yeah. And then Jezreel calls Honor Almighty. So
Okay.
I don't know when that would have.
That's the Oath Pact one? Where they're swearing the oath?
This is so Jezreel uses it in the Aharitium vision.
Oh, okay, that's fine. That's fine. I was like, that would be
so well
crazy if
after.
they said that in the swearing the Oath Pact one. Like, that would be
Yeah.
crazy. How would
Yeah.
you call him the Almighty then? But okay, sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so it could be. It could be the herald, a herald.
Yeah, it's just like 10 orders. We were loved once. Why have you forsaken us? Like, it's probably more likely to be a radiant.
Yeah.
Also, you do have Shard of my soul, which more literally Shard of my soul
Oh, yeah, with like the spren.
could be referring to also a herald, potentially.
Oh, both of those are valid, yeah. Anyway, Shard of My Soul would be a great chapter title. We would love to see that. I don't know if we can get many more potential chapter titles here, but hey.
That's just a great endearment. That's just such a great phrase.
Yeah.
So next one is I'm cold, mother, I'm cold. Mother, why can I still hear the rain? Will it stop? Asking about rain, if it will stop. I think pretty clearly talking about the Night of Sorrows and the real Everstorm going forever. The I'm cold. It's an evocative short little phrase or sentence, but I'm not really. I wouldn't be like shocked if there's like a real kid who we like see who is like stuck outside of his ear, not in a Rithru, who was just like having to deal. I don't think it's going to be anything significant though. I think all that it would be just a callback to this to this death rattle.
So one thing that's weird about this, this is almost like one of the least poetic ones. Like you could imagine a child saying this. And so I just looked at like who it's gathered by. This is from a light-eyed female child, approximately 6 years old. Like you could totally imagine like that being the case, like of a child actually saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess look, maybe Moelach was bored that day and he's like, yeah, okay, I'll just send it through. Send it through, guys. I don't need to punch it up. It's fine. They'll like
Maybe
it.
he was experimenting with spoken word poetry. This one.
Reading this one, I'm sort of left with the feeling of like, yes, there is the obvious, this is the Everstorm, cold could be because it's blocks out the sun. But also, if you're killing people by bleeding them, you would get cold because you can't like circulate. Because don't you like feel cold when you like lose blood?
Yeah.
Put your comments below if that's.
I guess
I don't remember feeling cold.
Yeah, I guess the only thing that makes me question that is there's another example of this kind of thing where the silent gatherers like say we're not sure if this is a good death rattle. It could just be someone talking, and so I feel like they would do the same thing if they thought that
they probably would. So like it's probably like they're keeping an eye, and it's like, oh, it's doing the death rattle thing, right? And where like the voice kind of changes a bit, right? And the diction changes.
Yeah, but it is. I don't know. It just doesn't strike me as something that'll be significant, even if it is a real death rattle.
No. I think it's more interesting just thinking about like how the death rattles work than necessarily anything else.
Maybe there's some connection shenanigans where because she's a child, she like connects to something that is said by a child.
Sure.
It's funny. I was going to mention that earlier too. The one specifically about Sigzil wasn't that by? Oh, that was by his squire.
Yeah, that's by his squire. Wasn't a child.
Oh, that's by squire.
But yeah, this is one where it's like, oh yeah, okay, the endless rain. Okay, we figured it out.
I was looking back at the connection stuff because I thought that was really interesting. Just it would give context for the bottom little piece about the subject.
Hmm.
So like
Yeah.
why say who the subject is? It would be interesting if that were the subject and the person they're seeing from are connected in some way.
The connection shenanigans are always possible with these, Bonnie. That's totally true. I'm not sure how much the subject particularly matters. Like it's probably just the Silent Gatherers are like, I mean, we might as well do it before we, toss a corpse, like get rid of their corpse, right?
So the next one is they are a flame. They burn. They bring the darkness when they come. And so all you can see is that their skin is a flame. Burn, burn, burn.
Okay, so certainly Way of Kings time, you would be like, singers. Well, I guess you'd say Parshendi if you're in Way of Kings time, okay? But we'll use singers as the terminology. The weird thing, though, right, is that the burning does sound much more like Ashen, right? And that the first Voidbringers are the humans in ways that I think are still a little unclear necessarily. Like, are there even human Voidbringers that like got magical powers from Odium on Roshar? Is that even a thing?
I mean, Ishar. No, he doesn't have them anymore, but
Well, yeah,
did.
but like aside from the heralds, right? Like in that first Desolation time period is what I mean.
Not in the first Desolation, although just in the previous time,
Yeah,
the time on Ashen.
I don't know. It's probably just singers, but there's room for more weird things to be involved. It's just so weird for the humans to be called the Voidbringers. Like, yeah, they brought Odium, sure, but like I feel like there's legends of like the magic and stuff, but we didn't really get those in the flashbacks. I don't know. There's probably more going on still.
I kind of wonder if we haven't seen this one come out yet. Like this is still coming in the future.
Still coming in the future.
Like if this were to happen in back half instead.
Yeah, I think that's possible. Like it's probably going to be something maybe like the 10 Shardblades one, right? Where, it might refer to something later, but also refer to the singers.
Yeah, it's possible.
Okay, this is not what this is referring to.
Okay. Good.
But this makes me think of the Sunlit Man and like how they have to chase away from the sun.
Sure.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like
It's obviously referring to the Sun Hearts. We all know that. It's all part of the master plan. Sure.
It's actually talking about the flame spread. Is it Bippy?
Bippy, I think. Yeah. Nice.
Bippy is bringing the darkness.
This next one is one of my favorite Death Rattles. Because I think this one is the first Death Rattle that we see that's not the epigraph. Because this one is from Gadol, a member of Bridge 4, who we all remember, who died in Way of Kings. They break the land itself. They want it, but in their rage, they will destroy it. Like the jealous man burns his rich things rather than let them be taken by his enemies. They come. I've always liked this one, because this one could refer to a lot of things. And I do not think it is clear what this is referring to now.
I was thinking Ashen again. They fought over the land, but then they destroyed it, made it uninhabitable.
Yeah, it could definitely be Ashen. I mean, that is where the land broke. So, I mean, that's a good candidate. It's a real good candidate here, right?
I mean, to be fair, this is such a common occurrence, even just in real life, about two people, anyone fighting over something and breaking it rather than letting it be taken.
Yeah.
Like, there's also the creation of the Shattered Plains, where Odium and Honor clashed.
Yeah.
Okay. Does that work? I don't think anything else in the Death Rattle works for that, but it is land breaking for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what, someone who is reading the series for the first time and sees this and sees the Shattered Plains will. Brandon intended this to be a bit of trickery where you think that it's talking about the Shattered Plains, but
yeah,
later we'll learn that it's not.
Ashen seems like a good strategy, although Shattered Plains makes me want to say something about Fourth Moon and Gadol is on the Shattered Plains at the time, so it's all connected here. Whoa.
That would be a connection.
I'm not serious about that. I don't think that's a real thing.
I am.
Yeah, I don't know. There is a lot of potential things, especially like in that first Desolation time period, where like you could imagine like Singers being like, "No, screw the humans. Like, I'll burn all this stuff. I'll turn to odium.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not giving in to these humans." Like, there's some way of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But like breaking the land, like how that's specific. That's specific. Although, I guess now that I think about this, this could be referring to the Singers and post-apocalyptic Roshar. It's like, yeah, they won.
Interesting.
But they broke the land itself. The land changed, and in their rage, Retribution's rage, they destroyed it. I think that's actually probably the most reasonable explanation. Like,
I
you
like
won.
that one, actually, I think.
We won, but it sucks now. So it's like, oh, well, oof.
Like goes back to that old folktale. Real life folktale, not in world folktale, but there's this old folktale too about the two women who are fighting over the child, and the king says whoever wins in the tug of war pulling on the child's arm gets to keep the child.
Oh no.
And so
I don't like where this is going.
one of the women starts pulling, the other one lets go because she doesn't want to hurt the child. And so the king says, "You showed that you cared more about the child than about winning, and so the child goes with you."
Uh-huh.
And so it's a very common like thing in storytelling in the world about fighting so hard over something that you're going to break it.
The other thing I like with this being like referring to post-apocalyptic Roshar is the Singers have been of odium, right, and of hatred. Like this is very much the jealous. Yeah, burn it down, kill all the humans. Don't care, just get the humans out of here. And then it's like, oh well, we did that, and it's actually real bad. Like, what was the cost of this?
Yeah,
but that's an odium way of thinking, right?
It also kind of potentially sets up the back half to start in an interesting place. If the people have realized this.
Maybe I imagine that there will be Singers and Fused who are like, yeah, this isn't what I signed up for anymore, right? Like, that seems very believable. It's like, this isn't the Roshar I loved thousands of years ago, right? This is bad. We got somewhere, guys. Wow. I had an idea and it wasn't a dumb idea. Hey. You want to do this next one, Grace?
The darkness becomes a palace. Let it rule. Let it rule.
That's Night of Sorrows, right? Come on. That totally is Night of Sorrows. I don't think that's... Yeah. Palace is interesting.
I always thought that this was Kholinar back in Oathbringer.
Okay, sure. Sure.
I don't know if maybe there was like an explanation someone gave that I just took as fact, or if I just made that assumption myself. But I've always thought the darkness becomes a palace was the like pulsing darkness at the heart of the Kholinar Palace and what happened there.
Well, you're not wrong, because like there is Queen Aesidon stuff that I don't know if we're ever going to get, but I wanted at some point with like the Queen's Guard. They had like those dead stairs and things. And
they were like...
Yeah.
They've been in a closet for like months, but had eaten like 3 times or
it's
something
so
like
weird.
That.
It's very creepy. Is there any chapter title in Oathbringer here? No, there's no chapter title in Oathbringer.
It's interesting too that they're saying let it rule. What perspective is that coming from?
See, but if this is the Kholinar Palace, it's just like Moelach helping out a friend. It's like, you know what, if Ashermarn comes to your palace, just let it rule, it's fine.
Let the darkness rule, man. He's my bro.
I'm loving this characterization. This is great.
The darkness could be Reshafir.
Okay. Ooh.
But then becoming a palace doesn't really...
I have a very different take. All right.
I've got a take too, so go first.
Okay. It is Night of Sorrows. The palace is Roshar itself. It's Retribution's palace. That's his home. It's his home palace for the battle for the Cosmere. That is going to happen. That's starting right now.
I'm going to continue on my theory that from the other one, that this is referring to the night.
Okay.
Because that could work
Let
too.
the night rule. See?
Let the night rule.
We need the old
broken
gods to get the broken one. We need to let the night rule, guys.
The night's going to rule. I'm calling it now.
Sure.
Eric, I
want my credit on that.
I just want an actual palace. I don't want any of this. Roshar is the palace from which he'll like fight the rest of the con. No, I want an actual palace of darkness.
Well, I could see that like the cloud cover was sort of, I don't know. It's sort of like my mind jumps to like those like like big vaulted ceilings in palaces and cathedrals and stuff. That the Everstorm would kind of resemble.
Oh yeah,
I don't know. It's
like
sort
the
of an open
ceiling of
question
the
to me.
world type thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Leaky ceiling with all that rain coming down. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that's another thing of like I don't really all this talk about endless rain, and I do have to wonder what the Rosharn water table looks like, but.
Not
sure
with Krem, that's for sure. I don't know. Yeah, but Grace, isn't it cool if you imagined a planet-sized palace? That's pretty cool.
I'm with Grace. I want a palace.
Yeah, but then make a planet-sized palace. Like,
look. Hey, okay.
Palace stuff.
Okay. I got it for you, Grace. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah. Ready.
Retribution makes Fifth Moon, and the Fifth Moon is a darkness palace that will be orbiting Roshar.
That's no moon.
I'll take it. The Moon Palace.
And it's like Rayshafir Midnight Essency of Palace, and that's sort of like, there you go.
Right, Death Star Palace orbiting Roshar I can get behind.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, okay, to be fair, that does sound cooler than just Roshar being the palace, I will admit. Cool. Sick.
And now we can move on to some Death Rattles where it's not, the answer just clearly is not Night of Sorrows, and we can move.
That is true. That is true. Although, I have some takes on. Look, anyone can edit Death Rattles /list, and so people get ideas. It's a wiki. That's kind of how the order we're going here. And Adam, you're up.
I wish to sleep. I know now why you do what you do, and I hate you for it. I will not speak the truths I see. So this is interesting because it may not be a death rattle at all. The Silent Gatherers certainly don't think it is.
Mm-hmm.
They say that sample is largely useless. I think in this case it may be interesting to note that this subject was a Shin sailor who was left behind for bringing them ill luck. So you could go, a bunch of different directions. Like you could go really crack there and say he's curse of kind or whatever. But I do think that the Shin...
All right, I like that. Ooh, bringing the curse of kind back.
Yeah, yes. I do think that the Shin angle is potentially interesting because it could be like Ishar stuff. Maybe, I don't know if Brandon had that idea that Ishar was the voice in Shinovar at this point or whatever, but I do like the idea that there's sort of a red herring here of we're being told that this is useless, but in fact it is a death rattle of some kind. It's just seems that it isn't.
I think it's probably not a death rattle.
I think it is. I don't know. I want this to be a real death rattle so badly, Eric.
Okay.
What would it be for? I don't know exactly.
We know the out-of-universe reason why it's this. It's to foreshadow the Silent Gatherers at the end of Way of Kings. Like, that's what this epigraph is designed to do. Now, can we have double meanings? Yes, absolutely. That's possible. But I think what's more interesting, and maybe why the Silent Gatherers find it interesting, is that this Shin Sailor is potentially seeing, like he's getting something from Moelach, and is able to actually not say it, which is actually kind of interesting, if that's the case.
So I have a theory.
Okay, great, good.
So a fun one with this is it would be really interesting, actually, if this is referencing Hoyd. and specifically the truths. I know why
Expound.
you do what you do, and I hate you for it. I will not speak of the truths that I see, and specifically the truths he's told design. That could be interesting.
Wait, okay. Sorry. So you're saying this is from Hoyd's perspective?
No, talking about Hoyd and the truths that he has told design would be interesting.
But why would they sleep? Expound. Paint me a picture. I don't get it. I don't understand.
Fair enough. I think I wish to sleep being the last thing they're saying. I don't know if that's necessarily the part of the death rattle like we've seen before. Why do you bleed me or whatever? But I know now why you do what you do, and I hate you for it. And one of the big thing is not knowing what Hoyt's motivation is. So that's kind of where that's coming from. Is there's always the question of what is his motivation. It's a little bit of a stress, but a stretch.
You know,
I can throw you some evidence for the correct theory. So I wish to sleep. Let's think about what things are associated with sleep in the Cosmere.
Not sleeping.
The sleepless. Yeah.
Okay.
What do we know about the sleepless? Well, we know that one of them was a pen in Hoyd's bag or whatever in Rhythm of War, and was able to listen in on who knows how many secrets.
I can't tell if this podcast
there you go.
was a horrible mistake or this is exactly where I want this podcast to be, because we got all the people who can do the crackiest theories.
Legitimately, I kind of, not necessarily the Hoyd angle, but I kind of like this being the sleepless. I know now why you do what you do, and I hate you for it. Like, they're spies. They're spying on everyone. They see truths about what's going on that no one else sees.
And they sort of keep those truths themselves. I do think that as much as I would like it to be like a death rattle, it probably isn't. But I do agree that, to tie it back to like the very beginning of the discussion about this, is the idea that he is being shown truths. Like, I think it's pretty undeniable that this is he is plugged into Moelach in some way.
That I certainly agree with. This crack stuff, I'm not like, maybe, but I don't know about that.
But what's interesting to me is the Shin Sailor the one who is denying them the truths, or is Moelach the one who is denying them the truths?
Poet Moelach is showing the image and is just like, poetry? No, not today. I am not in the mood. But I'm in the mood enough to give you this vision.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes the poets, they just have a weird day, you know? They just want to do a thing, right?
I don't know. I kind of vibe with Moelach being like, I know that you're manipulating me and I hate you for it, and I'm denying the truth this time. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know how much of a mind Moelach has. I think, Hesse doesn't need to be, accurate.
Yeah, maybe. So this was in Kakasha 1173. So that would be one of the later death rattles. So
yeah,
I don't know.
That's like starting to be Way of Kings time, right?
Yeah. So although they do talk about how they continued collecting death rattles, I think. So I don't know, but it would be interesting if like Moelach actually did catch on that he was being farmed, and that's why he like left or something.
Hold up. This one is how many seconds? This is 142 seconds before death. How far? I'm looking through this list. I see an 84 seconds before death. They are not usually this far before death. So it is fun to think about. Like, this is like he's like basically immediately like catches on to what they're doing, and they. It's fun to imagine them like trying to like quiz him or something, because he's just sitting there for like 2 more minutes. I see an 107 seconds and a 95 seconds. So like 142, if it's not that much of an outlier if like we have an 107 seconds. So that's less crazy. Like,
do they time it from the start of the death rattle or the end?
I would guess the end, because some of these are like 10 seconds. And Some of these are
But
pretty
how
short.
do you
One of them's
know
8
exactly what
seconds.
time and like how are you to stop watching this? Like there are some mechanical questions here that I don't
can
know.
imagine. So if I'm the researcher though, I want to know exactly when to expect this rattle or when the rattles happen on average, right? I'm not necessarily looking for when they end. I'm looking for when they start on average before death. Right? So as soon as the death rattle, as soon as it starts, you hit that stopwatch. You're like, all right, how long? And then you can get an average so you know what to expect before someone passes.
This is the real spoiler words of Brandon
really
that people
morbid.
want. It's like when the Silent Gatherers were timing death, was that at the end of the death rattle or at the beginning of the death rattle? And like, you know, and Brandon's like, what? I do not remember me writing these Way of Kings death rattles. He probably has a notes file with what they mean. Maybe, probably, most of them.
While we're appreciating prose, also Silent Gatherers. What a great name. What a morbid name.
Great. As far as, it's not quite a secret society, but it is one of the secretive things that like have the best name. Cool. Bonnie, hit us with this next one. This is a Wind and Truth one.
I climb the wall of grief toward the light, locked away above. I climb the weight of my darkened twin on my back and seek the captive. The light I love. Storms. The light I love.
Okay. I thought this one was very obvious reading this in Wind and Truth, so I don't understand the confusion here, because we have Shallan, we have formless, shadowy, like not, like they're there too, sure. Not exactly on the back, but like it doesn't have to be literal. Okay, that's fine. The captive's Badamishram. It's a little weird if this is from Shallan's perspective with the light I love, because more the love part is Renarin and Relaine, but I think it's that.
Okay.
I think I'm in the right ballpark here.
So, Girl Who Stood Up is a story about the girl who has to climb the wall to get to the other side where the light is to bring the light back.
Yes, very true.
So that fits in very well, both with climbing the wall to get to the light and Shallan in particular.
Yes, absolutely.
Because that story is specifically very much a Shallan story.
Yeah, it's just the thing that I think that makes sense. The wall of grief is what, because I can't really think of like what that, I mean, you know, it could just be purely metaphorical.
So the wall of grief, right? Like they had to connect in a certain way with Badamishram's like anguish. There were like the things that they needed to like see in the spiritual realm with Badamishram. And so like, I think there's an argument that that was like the wall of grief. And then like that opened the path to Badamishram. I don't know, but the seek the captive and the light I love and things, I'm like, this is going for Badamishram's prison, surely.
I mean, this could be original Girl Who Looked Up stuff. We don't know what that story is based on still.
And I mean,
what if Badamishram was the girl who looked up?
Jesus Christ. Okay. Badamishram is the girl who looked up. Well, I believe one of the things with Badamishram translated is light, right? So, you know,
it's child of light and music or something like that.
Yes. Yeah. So like there's that aspect of light with her. So that's interesting. All right, Badamishram girl who looked up. Sure, why not? Next one. Oh, this one's interesting. You've killed me, bastards. You've killed me. While the sun is still hot, I die. Where did we get the final chapter of Hero of Ages, Scadrian vision here? It really feels like that. I don't know. But, okay. Apparently sample is considered questionable. I do think these notes, I don't think who the subject is usually matters, but the Silent Gatherer's notes, like, this is considered questionable.
Yeah, I think because they're thinking that he may be talking like, you've killed me is referring to the Silent Gatherers.
Sure.
And so they think that this guy isn't doing a death rattle.
Yeah, sure.
But I don't know. I question the I question the Silent Gatherers on that because talking about, well, the sun is still hot is a weird thing to say if it's not a death rattle, because we see where they're collecting these death rattles and it's, inside. It's not like out in the open or anything. So,
I mean, you'd at least need to note down it's like, it is not necessarily a death rattle. Scholars in world would disagree. The sun is still hot is interesting. Because I think typically, like, Roshar often feels very cold, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, cold with, like, the high storm, the rains and things, and now even more so.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we don't get too many descriptions of, like, the sun, like, beating down and, like, being really hot and sweltering. Maybe like, bridge runs,
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that, but...
Could be a bridge run.
Mm.
Oh, I don't know. This is one that's like, I think it's a death rattle, but I also think it's vague enough that we're not going to get one specific explanation.
Yeah, this feels like a death rattle that is probably like Brandon is trying to get like vibe more than anything, right?
Yeah. Unless the Rosharan sun like actually goes out, I don't think that we'll be able to link this to anything specific, other than maybe like just saying the sun is out because it's covered by the clouds, but
yeah,
it was such a stupid idea. Go ahead, Grace.
So, I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Might be more stupid. So, what if this is anti-light and it's like the final death of like the fused or something, and it's the sun is still hot because they're not on brace where it's freezing cold?
No, mine is definitely dumber. I can confirm. All right, this is talking about a Rosharan spaceship that doesn't have enough heat dissipation, and they're getting all the warmth from the sun, and it's too hot, and then they all die in the spaceship. Nailed it.
No, this is clearly Sunlit Man and being put out to die.
It's actually Sigil. It's actually Scholar with a sphere.
We're actually talking about Taldane.
Ooh, all right, yeah. Well, I think, though that is very funny, reining it slightly in for a second, the fact that we're going to other worlds with hot suns, I think, does lead to some weirdness with this in that Rosharan's, like, we don't usually get this association, right?
Yeah.
This is really dumb.
Okay, great.
Are we reining it in or reining it in?
Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you.
See, Eric, that's why I went to fused, because the Roshar's hot sun is hot in comparison to Braze, where it's like you're freezing cold all the time.
Okay. Let's go to the next one.
He watches the Black Piper in the night. He holds us in his palm, playing a tune that no man can hear.
I like that the note on this says it's not a reference to Hoyd. I like that.
I think this is like one of the few... Yeah, one of the few ones where there's like a very direct wob that's relevant to this episode.
Wow, so and searching Black Piper is only this one.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta be a back half thing.
Yeah, because like this always sounded like an unmade, but I guess Digonarthus is the Black Fisher. And maybe I just always associated Black Fisher with the Black Piper.
Yeah.
But I guess we don't know what the Black Piper is at all.
Yeah, it's really weird that it's not Hoyd, because it's like, I think that this is like a perfect description of him.
Yeah, but I don't know. I wouldn't say
the tune that no man can hear. There's the tune that no man can. What's the?
Are we talking about rhythms?
Yeah, rhythms. Yeah, okay.
But there's an analogy that Hoyd uses when talking about playing a flute without, or something about playing a flute that he tells Kaladin in Wind and Truth. I forget what the exact wording is, but it's not. I don't think it's playing a tune that no man can hear. It's like playing a flute without using
music, or something.
Because it's about using the wind to do it or something.
Look, we don't know anything about our girl Chamorish, the Dust Mother, who's not the Night Watcher, but conflated with the Night Watcher.
And that's the Black Piper is another name for the Dust Mother?
I don't know. Hey, what's one of Hoyd's aliases? Dust. Whoa. Think about it. What if Chamorish is Hoyd's mom? It's so stupid. We're losing it, guys. I'm glad Ian and Evgeny aren't here to witness this. I'm glad.
Yeah, this definitely feels like a back half thing.
Yeah. I like the tune and no man can hear. It could be a rhythm thing. So like this could be referring to like some fused or something like that. That's very possible. He watches.
Yeah, who's he and why is he watching?
Yeah.
How is he watching?
Yeah.
And now we're in like perpetual night, so the Black Piper could show up whenever, not just
Doesn't
during
have to be a
action
night.
night.
True.
Mm-hmm.
True.
It would
Easy.
be fun to have like a fused or singer or something who is like inspired by somehow learns about Hoyd or Kaladin or something and decides to do something with it.
Grace as a top L fangirl. Is there anything with L about playing musical instruments, preferably being a piper? I don't think so. I don't think so.
He's like a poet. He's a poet. I don't know that he's necessarily. I mean, I think he likes art. Rhythm. He talks about like.
Oh, yeah, he's without rhythms. Yeah, that doesn't.
Yeah,
that doesn't help.
Without.
I got really excited just by saying poet. I'm like, Moelach poet, huh? Poet, huh? There could be multiple poets.
The immediate vibes I got from this, reading it, was the story about, and again, this is like real world story,
Sure.
but we talk about the piper with the mice, and it plays the music and the mice follow along. And so that's the immediate vibe I get from this.
Yeah, I think it's intentionally meant to have Pied Piper vibes.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like this just sounds like an unmade-y thing where it's like some tune and it's like making people do certain actions type thing, right? Like that's the vibe I get, right?
I mean, we could talk about Moelach here. Moelach could be the Black Piper.
I think that if it were an unmade, we would have gotten this name already. Personally.
Yeah. How
I don't know who would be instead.
How dare you slander Chamorish, whom we know nothing about.
Well, we have Chamorish and we have Dust Mother. Like,
I mean, we have no idea what that means or what that has to do with anything. It's just so weird that Digonarthus is the Black Fisher. What's the Black Piper then? What does that mean? We'll get to the Black Fisher in a second, guys. Don't you worry.
I just went really unhinged, and I'm not going to go there, but it includes Wheel of Time.
Yeah, okay. We can't go there.
Yeah.
I will note the unhingedness for the record.
Thank you.
Great.
I appreciate it.
This one, I'm not sure how much we'll be able to wring out of, but it is, I'm standing over the body of a brother. I'm weeping. Is it his blood or mine? What have we done? Like, I think that like there are a few cases of metaphorical brothers killing one another in the story.
Gavilar
Moelach
attempting to
Teft.
kill like there was that Gavilar Dalinar thing, right? But it didn't kill him, obviously.
It didn't actually, yeah. There's Moelach and Teft. I guess there's Moelach and several Bridge members. But yeah, I can't really think of anything that points to a specific event that we've seen, but there could well be in there. I'm not remembering.
Okay.
So the first time I saw this one, I thought Adolin and Renarin.
Oh no.
That was the first set of brothers that came to mind when I saw this the first time.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I guess it could be Kaladin and Tien.
Yeah. I was going to make a comment on how this is actually just talking about like how Kaladin thinks of everything in terms of like that's his Tien. Like it's not an actual moment, it's just
this Death Rattle is his Tien.
Good. So like I certainly have this vibe of like two people who are close who fought. And it like turned deadly. And it's like lots of striking. And it's like, what have we done? I don't believe this.
okay.
But the thing that I first thought of is Shallan and her mom.
Oh no.
I don't think that works.
Like too far of a stretch to be like brother.
No, I agree. It's just like there's the ambiguity of like, what did we do?
Yeah,
Shalon does have brothers.
It could be any of the
actual
brothers.
I think it could be brothers at arms.
Yeah,
I don't
it's probably
think it could
brothers
be
at arms.
mother-daughter. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Mhm.
It's just that was the first fight that I thought of that had like the what have we done type vibe, like whose blood is it, right? Although I guess it was pretty clear whose blood it was, actually. It was just who did it was unclear. Yeah, I don't know if we've seen this. This could refer to something later. This totally could. I would hate if it's Adolin and Renarin. I hate that so much.
I hate it in the way that I think it would be very emotional and that it would hurt very well.
No. We can't bring evil Adolin back. We've had evil Adolin theories for so long. No, it's not. Evil Adolin's not happening. Stop trying to make evil Adolin be a thing. It's never happening.
Evil, but if they were both on, different sides that ended up clashing.
That just wouldn't happen. There's no way that would happen. I don't know. This Death Rattle actually makes me excited if Brandon did character crunch like that and had, and did that well.
It would be very crunchy.
That would be fun.
So the next one, the death is my life. The strength becomes my weakness. The journey has ended.
Oh, collected secondhand and later reported to the Silent Gatherers. Considered questionable.
Also questionable. By a scholar of some minor renown. We definitely need Joe for the timeline on this one.
Sure. There's not really anything to talk about this one. I think this is...
When was 1173 in the timeline?
That's Way of Kings.
Is that before we have
Right,
life before death, strength before weakness? Like, is that before we have that
Before
first
the
year?
ideal? I think
Yeah.
so.
I don't think so. I feel like we get the actual ideal pretty quickly.
Yeah, I don't know. But obviously it's the inversion of the Radiant, the first ideal. There's not much to go off of here.
I think it's mostly just for flavor.
It's like a Moelach. It's Moelach making like an angsty bridge for black uniform. He also has an angsty backwards ideal.
That's the POV from this one for sure. Yes. Yeah. I think this is more just flavor that like the Death Rattles are, at least that we get, are ominous and typically about death. Cool. Oh, yes. I get this one. Let me no longer hurt. Let me no longer weep. Digonarthus, the black fisher holds my sorrow and consumes it. That is tight right there. That is good. What this has to do with Elskates, unclear. It's very unclear.
And interestingly, this is noted in the epigraph to be similar to a previous sample.
Interesting.
So Digonarthus has a bunch of fans out there, I guess.
Look, everyone loves Daiji here.
I remember when I first read this, when I was first reading the books, I was like, I was flipping through trying to find the sample that was talking about, but
hey. So I just searched 1172 on these. You know what other Death Rattle was in 1172?
The Black Piper.
The Black Piper one. Whoa! Is that what this is referring to? Probably not, but hey, I don't know.
that would be fun.
That would be
28
fun.
seconds pre-death. Does that make a difference?
I think that the 89 is saying it's like the 89th sample they collected.
Yeah, I think that's what that means. Yeah, I don't think that's number of seconds. It's an index. I'm excited for Digonarthus stuff. Like I am. Like it's referring to Digonarthus. Like there's another Death Rattle that we didn't put in the list that's just like, yeah, Ray Shafir is just Ray Shafir. Like that's basically it. So
I mean, this does remind me of like Odium taking Moash's pain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Let
absolutely.
me no longer hurt, make me no longer weep.
Oh,
Yeah.
Very true. Absolutely.
And like, is this like the cost that Digonarthus, like, or part of the cost that is charged for using their services?
I don't. Why would Odium fear that? I don't know. Maybe he likes his emotions, I guess. But TBD on Diagonarthus things. All right. Ooh, this one is maybe the spiciest one here.
Above silence, the illuminating storms, dying storms, illuminate the silence above.
So this is the one that we get the part titles for Way of Kings, which, in my opinion, best Ketek of the 5. In my opinion, this one's good. So certainly interesting that Moelach gave a Ketek. Then the scholars were like, "Oh, this is a really good Ketek." So Moelach is familiar with Vorin poetry here, guys, or at least can connect to it in the spiritual realm and do stuff. I don't know. Okay, I am bad with poetry, so I need someone to explain to me this. Obviously, dying storms. We did have a dying high storm. I got that part. But yeah. So illuminating storms, I guess, could be the high storm in that it is providing light. And then the next section is dying storms, and so the high storm died. I don't know what the above silence part means at the first one, but that's what I got so far. So put your comments below if you can explain this to me as well. That'd be great.
When they talked about in Wind and Truth, like rhythms dying,
Sure,
and that kind of thing, my mind went to this because it's talking about silence.
Sure.
And so it's like there's like basically like the high storms and cultivation left, and so it's like you lose honors, rhythms, which would be like sky, and then you lose cultivation's rhythms for like the ground. And so there's like above silence, so there's silence, and then there's an illuminating storm above that silence, and then there's silence above, which I think of like above the storm. So it's like a silence and then storm in the middle, and the silence is because of the two rhythms going away. That's sort of what I've put together as like my headcanon. It's
I can see it. I see where you're coming from. The silence below, the silence above.
Okay, so word searching in so I guess one thing with silence, I just had to word search silence in this. And this is talking about Night of Sorrows. There's no more stormlight and span reeds. Now silence reigned, no storm, no span reeds. So like that is one of the silences.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I've been thinking through this.
Okay, great.
So I think above silence is sort of above Roshar. The planet, the people are sort of holding their breath to see what happens next. Span reeds stop working. Like there's this sort of hushed silence upon the planet. The illuminating storms, dying storms is the high storm.
Sure.
That's the end, yeah. Illuminate the silence above. And so in the high storm's death, it illuminates the fact that the Almighty is dead. There is no one talking to them from above anymore. That's my interpretation.
Well, you could jump right to that, to the story of Wandersail, too, where there's silence about there's not actually someone at the top of the tower.
Sure.
Does my explanation work for you, Eric? I know you want more literal. I don't think you're going to get it with this one.
No, sorry. Now at this point, I'm just thinking about how in high school, I don't know how I got like 3 in like the AP exam that had the poetry stuff. I don't know. I don't know how I did that because this is really hard for me.
I feel good about my explanation.
Yeah. This is the English major stuff that I'm like, I don't know, guys.
The death of the high storm is proof of Honor's death, the silence above.
And what's the first above silence?
That's just like the planet sort of, recognizing that this is an important moment and like holding its breath to see what happens. I don't know.
Okay, cool. Very convincing. Other thoughts? I don't like. Yeah, sure. Certainly, the silence reigning is like this. This seems connected with this, but
do we have other death rattles talking about silence?
There's the one about Kaladin's second ideal.
Sure. Yeah.
Where he's hanging above silence.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of instances of the word silence in the book, guys. I think I got the most relevant one, but well, please put your comments below if you have thoughts on the Way of Kings Ketek. Please help, preferably with diagrams. This is the STEM major, Eric, who's like, it's like, oh, maybe I'm a terrible writer, actually. Like, I don't know, man. Any more on this one? Or are we done with this one?
I'm just glad to
think
see
the only-
Moelach is branching out in terms of what kind of poetry he's writing.
Yeah. You know, we love to see, you know, maybe in back half we'll get a limerick. You know. You know.
I think the only other interesting point is that illuminating can be used two different ways, as illuminating like light and illuminating like knowledge.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So which of these illuminations mean what, or both, and how?
The first one is
Okay.
the illuminating light, because it's storm light. It's the storm that brings light. It's illuminating.
Sure.
The second one is knowledge, because the death of the storm is bringing the knowledge that the Almighty is dead and there is silence from the heavens.
I was going to go the opposite direction.
Oh,
Okay,
you think
please,
it's the opposite one?
Oh, please do.
Specifically because illuminating, when you say illuminating, that's usually more for knowledge, whereas illuminate,
Like, how
you usually
illuminating?
say illuminate towards actual light.
Sure.
So just
Sure.
specifically illuminating versus illuminate.
Sure. Cool.
I just think you're bad at poetry, Eric.
I'm not saying, look, me not getting it doesn't mean it's not good poetry. Like, you know, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. It does not need to meet my standards. Like, I can just be dumb. Like, that's fine.
It would be interesting to see silence as an actual more important thing in the back half.
Mhm.
Like maybe silence as more of a capital S silence or something like that.
No, that's a
I
different
don't
planet.
know, but
It's a different planet.
you're right.
Yeah, Silence Divine did come to mind. a
This
few
is
times.
actually talking about
Oh,
Silence
but-
Divine.
I was talking about Silence Montaigne. She's on Trinity.
Oh.
How do we get Silence Montaigne into this? It's the shadows for
I was
silence,
thinking
you
of
know.
Silence Montaigne, but I call her Silence Divine constantly. So
It is. It's
I have absolutely called Silence Montaigne Silence Divine during, like, who's that Cosmere character before?
it's that the cadence is so Montaigne divine. Like yeah.
Yeah, so we already had the autonomy one. Now we have the Threnody one.
Okay. Great. Good. I'm sure that's what this one is about. Let's do this last one.
They named it the Final Desolation, but they lied. Our gods lied. Oh, how they lied. The Everstorm comes. I hear its whispers, see its storm walls, know its heart.
Okay. I wanted this in here mostly because I remember when we first did this Death Rattle that this was, before Rhythm of War, the only instance of the word Final Desolation. Or the term Final Desolation. It does appear in Rhythm of War, so it's in the text now. So that's good. I don't have an issue with it being Final Desolation. It was just weird that it was just an epigraph. That are obviously filtered by Poet Moelach here, guys. Presumably the gods are the heralds here, right? That's like, yeah, this is the last desolation, but it's not actually the last desolation. There's another one coming,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, because the heralds lied about that.
I think it's interesting. He talks about seeing the storm wall too, and this is an Easish itinerant worker. So
I mean, that could definitely be referring to like the words of radiance, like the oncoming of that. One.
Do you mean like you're not sure if there's a storm wall by the time the high storm reaches easier?
No,
maybe seeing the edge of the storm.
Yeah, like seeing the storm wall as in, like, the edge that's surrounding easier.
Oh, that's
'Cause he's
actually
connected
that's pretty
to
good.
Easier.
I don't think that's what it's meant, but it's really funny to think about.
I think it maybe makes a difference.
That's actually pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, isn't like the Everstorm noted for not having a storm wall? in like when it's in circling
Oh.
form.
Well, I mean, this is probably a poetic storm wall, not a real storm wall. Okay, like if
Aren't you
it's
the guy who
talking
doesn't know
about
what
forever
poetry is?
storm, Everstorm,
Mhm.
then the storm wall is just like it's in the sky. It's the whole sky, right? I think in-world Rosharans, even though it's not technically a storm wall, could say it's like, yeah, man, that red lightning over there. It's like, yeah, that's not great. It's bad. Anyway, there's not much to discuss there, but I just wanted to get a good terminology thing in here. This is the thing I want to talk about, not poetry, terminology. Let's get in there.
It is. I don't know that it makes a difference, but I hear it's whispers. That's interesting.
That is interesting as well. That certainly gives some vibes of like Renarin hearing things, right? In like the countdown inwards of radiance, right? Because I don't think we really get, like, I mean, I guess Odium speaks to people in the Everstorms and things, but that's usually like singers and stuff. Like that wouldn't be their gods then. Like this is probably a human perspective, right?
Also, with the high storm, you have the storm father talking once you hit the middle of the storm.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have a constant Everstorm, do you have the constant kind of presence of retribution?
In that sense, it's seeing its storm wall know its heart. What does that even mean? Knowing its heart.
The heart at the Everstorm?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Like presumably that like means retribution itself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It has always just been interesting that we see no like overarching spren of the Everstorm. And I know that in the past that they've talked about, like people have speculated about the reason that that's the case is because the Everstorm is just a piece of the barrier storm, and
we didn't get the barrier storm lore in here. Is the barrier storm still around in post retribution land? Will we know? I don't know.
Yeah.
Did Teravangian just be like, I'm slurping up the barrier storm because I need investiture for this stuff that I'm doing on Roshar? Who's to say?
Yeah. But it would be, I don't know if it's like, I would say it's like inevitable or anything, because I'm sure there are ways to like stop it from happening, but would be interesting to see like a nascent Everstorm spren sort of manifest and like is something that they have to deal with in the back half.
Well, that's interesting, especially if Retribution's going elsewhere, because he kind of left, I guess. This is so hard with the Stormfather because Wind and Truth made it wacky, but like,
yeah,
I was satisfied with the explanation that like when Honor's riding the storms, you're not necessarily getting like that personification of that, and like that spren's not forming. Obviously, this is very weird and confusing now with Wind and Truth, but with Odium basically being in the Everstorm, like it's been like 2 years. There wouldn't even be time for a thing to form, really.
With the Everstorm too, the Stormfather could see what the storm was currently passing over. Whereas with the Everstorm, did I just say Everstorm or High Storm?
Yeah, you said Everstorm the first time.
Yeah.
Sorry, the High Storm. So you could see what the Stormfather was passing over. With the other Everstorm, that would mean Retribution has kind of a view of everything all the time, as long as the storm's over it, potentially. As compared to the High Storms.
I guess I would argue that at this stage in Rosharan history, Retribution would have much more access to do things that previous shards on Roshar would not be able to do, because those oaths are broken now. And also, there's no Shardic opposition there, right? So it's a bit like, Harmony, right? Like, I kind of think Harmony could just smite someone if he wanted to. He could. I don't see any reason why he could not do that. He just chooses not to do that.
I think Brandon has said as much about like endowment or something, like solo shards.
Well, the shards do have to follow certain rules too.
Yeah, but I don't think I feel like that's more imposed of like when there's Shardic conflict though, right? Like, I think shards in their own turf, they're like, yeah. Like, I think most of the time they just don't care because they're like at such a higher plane. It's like, yeah, whatever. It probably it doesn't matter that much, really. But I don't know. It does make me wonder how much like Retribution how much he could do. Like, if you're in Retribution's empire and Retribution comes back, can Retribution just be like, yep, you're just out of here. You know, you broke one of our laws, get divinely smitten. I guess Azir, Urithiru, and Shattered Plains, they're fine. That would not, I don't think Retribution would, he might be able to do that in a magical sense, but he is choosing not to because he wants to appease Honor's power, right? That's like, well, you know, I still followed the rule.
Yeah. The real question is, what's up with the origin now? You know, could that be the heart that they're talking about? I
mean, the origin's always been really weird, right? Because the High Storm gets like weaker, but then like in the East, it's always strong, right? So the origin of storms is always weird.
We've got to go there someday, right?
It does feel like we got to go there, surely, right? Like it's just with our dying storms. Maybe there's something to. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this.
I know that when I was first thinking about a Death Rattle episode, I was like, oh, we're going to have to talk a lot about Sailors on an Infinite Sea, but then I remembered that that's not a Death Rattle, but
no, it's not.
It feels like a Death Rattle.
Can you connect Sailors on an Infinite Sea to any of these before we go here, Grace?
Oh, I mean, I wasn't really thinking about it.
Okay.
I did before we started, I think.
That's true, you did.
Sailors on the Infinite Sea, they'll come with light in their pocket, they'll come to destroy.
I do think there's a lot of things in like Oathbringer and these later books that are foreshadowing that we just don't recognize. Like, I do think that is true.
I don't immediately see any.
I was joking before we started about they are a flame, they burn, they bring the darkness when they come, and so all you can see is their skin aflame, burn, burn, burn. Being connected to the Sailors on the Infinite Sea because they just show up.
But the Sailors are bringing light, not darkness.
But they're a flame. They are bringing light.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
Sailors are going to be Sailors on the Infinite Sea post Emberdark are going to be some like Shadesmar travelers or something.
Yeah, absolutely. That's super plausible.
Oh, I totally expect Shadesmar travelers.
Yeah. Puli's lighthouse will be totally useless because it's in the physical realm.
And it was probably destroyed by the multiple storms by now, honestly.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. We'll probably see Puli again.
I could see the origin having a nexus or something.
Oh, God. Oh. What does that even mean? What kind of nexus?
What kind of nexus?
What are you referring to?
They have their own convention.
Perpendicularity, I should say.
The origin, it's like, yes, or the origin of storms, it's just a big con. Just like, yeah, sweet. Dragonsteel Nexus all year long.
I could see it being a perpendicularity. The Sailors travel there, go through the perpendicularity, end up somewhere else.
Like that maybe could be one of the places where Honor's perpendicularity could have sometimes been. Honor's perpendicularity is still weird. That's another still weird thing. But,
what if it's the perpendicularity that predates Honor and Cultivation showing up there?
Ooh. Maybe it's the broken one's perpendicularity. Whoa.
Maybe.
Whoa. Well, I mean, if it, well, on a semi-serious note for this total digression, the High Storms do predate Honor. Coming here. So there could be old god stuff at the origin. I actually do think that's actually plausible. Yeah. And just Honor souped it up a lot. Cool. Well, I have no segue to go from that, but we're going to go to who's that Cosmere character, I guess. Hey.
This character is from Roshar.
Menace. Tien.
Tom.
Braze.
Hoyd in drag on a horse.
It's time for Who's That Cosmere character. Caw.
All right, listeners, you know how the game's played. You send an email to wtcc@17shard.com with 5 clues in the character those clues correspond to. I'll read each clue aloud, and after each one, our panelists will have the chance to guess who's that Cosmere character. This one was sent in by Artemis.
Hi, Artemis.
New one. This character has long hair.
Siri.
It's not Siri.
Let's go with Pally or Palaya.
It is not. It is not Talia. Pali.
I think it's Prala's what her name was. Okay, it's Prala. That's right. I have not internalized this information yet.
I'm going to take a wild guess and go with Serene.
It is not Serene.
Okay.
Clue 2. This character can read and write.
Long hair. I don't know, Shalon.
It is not Shalon.
Tidwell.
It is not Tindwell.
Can we go with Syl?
It is not Syl.
Okay, sure.
Clue 3. This character has a dangerous profession.
What does that mean? I don't know, Yasna?
It is not Yasna.
Put you newer staff members to work. Thinking of who's that Cosmere character things. Let's go. Chop, chop.
Is it Liss?
It was not Liss.
I like that.
Is it the God King?
It is not the God King.
Mm.
Clue 4. This character has many pets.
Is it Six of the Dusk?
It is.
Hey! I was not going to continue the Warbreaker thought with that one.
Look, if it wasn't Six of the Dusk, I don't know who has multiple pets here. I'll be honest.
Multiple pets. Doesn't Shalon's brother raise axe hounds?
Yeah, but didn't they like die and stuff?
I was going to say Tong Fa was going to be the...
Oh, that's another bad example.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh.
And not many examples of responsible pet owners. In the
There's
Cosmere, I have to
multiple
say.
examples of very bad pet owners. There's the
Please acknowledge a good
menagerie
job.
that had all the chickens, of course.
Oh, yeah. Clue 5 was this character can survive in the jungle.
Sure. Okay. Cool.
I did have a distinct feeling that the Ken read and write was a red herring, but I couldn't think of a non-Rasharan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dusk is Dusk surprisingly has that. Yeah. All right. We're gonna go on to our Who's That Cosmere Character priority queue. You can support our Patreon at patreon.com/17shard. For as little as $1 a month, you can vote on art polls and see outtakes and stuff, when we have them at least. If you are a herald on Patreon, which is $10 a month, you can submit things faster. Wow, cool. And so this one is sent by John Carlfelt. And clue 1 is this character holds a position of some prestige.
Some prestige.
Sounds like a direct quote from a book.
Does.
I'm going to keep up with the Warbreaker theme and go with Blue Fingers.
It's not Blue Fingers.
I'll go with the Duke Telrai.
Ah, nice. No, it's not him. It's not him.
Is it? I'm blanking on his name. And he's not a minor character either, so it's been embarrassing. The guy who killed Moesh's grandparents and was Rashon.
No, it's not Rashon. I like that though. Clue 2. This character's origin has not been revealed.
And so it's not Human the Koloss.
we actually do have extensive Human the Koloss lore. That annotation went hard.
What was the exact wording on the first one?
This character holds a position of some prestige.
This is a meme guess for them to do it anyways. The High Storm. We haven't seen the origin yet.
It is not the High Storm, but that's very funny. I like that.
Is it Hoyd?
It is not Hoyd.
Well, I'm going to take a weird guess here and go with Nightblood.
It's not Nightblood. Clue 3. This character is never seen on screen.
Hmm.
When was this sent in, Eric?
Oh, this was sent in this last July.
Okay. I feel like this is some Malwish shenanigans,
Okay.
but I'm not going to remember any Malwish, like, prestigious characters' names, I don't think.
Sure. That is not uniquely identifying enough for me.
No,
to
I
say
know.
yes or
I'm just
no.
saying that. I'm just putting that out in the world.
Okay.
I'll go with his name Worm, the king of
Fjordan.
Fjorden. Yeah,
No, it's not Wern. Wern Wolfden the Fourth?
Wern Wolfden the Fourth. Yes.
Hell yeah.
Like that guess.
I remember this. See, the early books, I got them here.
Is it the owner of the plantation that Kelsier kills in the beginning of the Final Empire?
Ooh, no, but I like that too.
I love that guess. Oh my goodness.
Trusting. That's what it was.
Yes, trusting.
No. It's
I
not.
feel like we're
Lord.
going hard into our repository of obscure characters for this.
I like that.
I think that these clues beg that we do that. So who am I to deny?
You have not seen Lord Trusting on screen. That's true.
So not seen on screen,
Mhm.
holds some prestige.
Mhm. A position of some prestige. And origin has
Oh.
not been revealed.
This is kind of a weird one, but what about Queen Sa?
It's not Queen Saw. I like that. That's good. I like that. That's good. All right. Clue 4. When this character speaks, even immortal beings are known to listen.
Okay. Hold on. So is this pre or post Winded Truth?
This was sent in like 2 weeks ago, this July.
Oh, this
could
July.
also be
Okay.
Emberdark even.
That is true.
Right?
Yeah. It was sent at the end of July. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh,
Last July is it's this year. It's 2025.
Okay. Yeah.
It is the
I see.
last July.
Um,
But I see the confusion. That's fine.
I'm going to totally butcher this name.
Okay.
And I think I've got all the clues fitting here. Malandatorius? What's that?
The dragon god Melantorus, or yeah, right?
Yeah.
Valor? No, it's not Valor.
what was the exact wording of Clue 4 again? When they speak.
When this character speaks, even immortal beings are known to listen.
Yeah, that's definitely another quote. Okay.
Frost?
It is not Frost.
I don't think we've actually seen Frost on screen. Unless you
The
count the
Traveler.
Traveler.
Which I would not count the Traveler, but well, no, wait. In Emberdark, like we had like a vision. No,
Oh,
we
we
saw
got
him
the
on screen. We
flashback.
totally
Oh, yeah, he was technically
he was
on
definitely
screen.
in Emberdark.
Yeah. I was thinking because he's like disappeared in the current story, but no, he was in the flashback.
Yeah. It's in the prologue.
Okay. This is going to be a sort of vague description, but I think it'll
Okay,
be specific
that's
enough.
fine.
In Dawn Shard, there's a mention of a sleepless horde
Okay.
that is normally, I think that it's described as normally being, like normally not talking, but occasionally it does, and when it does, it's listened to. Is that a thing, or am I just hallucinating?
It is not that sleepless if that exists. How about that?
Okay.
All right. Clue 5. This character has a namesake in our world.
In our world?
In our world.
I'm going to take a guess here.
Okay.
I'll go with Adel Nelsium.
It's not Ignacium.
Hold
I
on.
like that.
Hold on, can you say the character, all the clues again?
I absolutely can. This character holds a position of some prestige. This character's origin has not been revealed. This character is never seen on screen. When this character speaks, even immortal beings are known to listen. And clue 5, this character has a namesake in our world.
Is this Billid, the Skybreaker leader who like defected from Nail?
No.
Felt so good about that.
What namesake in our world does that character have?
Isn't that
Billy.
Oh,
That's Billy.
That's Billy. Oh, okay.
That's his character he requested. I
that's
thought maybe
really-
like Nail listens to him.
Oh,
and
okay. Well,
I felt so good about that guess.
that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
So I'm just gonna have to guess if namesake means that they were named after someone in real life, or something in real life was named after this character. I am not very up to date on Flanderizations, so I don't think. Let's see.
I think that's Tuckerizations. I think Flanderization's something quite different.
Oh, yeah.
Tuckerizations.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep going on this. This is a fun one.
Yeah.
Where's clue 6?
There is no clue 6, but we could
clue.
do another set of guesses. That's permissible if AAKS doesn't get it.
You make the rules, yeah. You can decide.
Sure, that's fine.
No, we see the first generation. Is it Frost's sister?
Not Frost's sister. Well, I like that too. All right, so now we're into a bonus round of guesses. That's fine. There are no more clues. So
is it Professor Lake? Because I think Sixtus was going to his.
It is Professor Lake.
Okay.
Grace.
I was going through my list of Tuckerizations, and I was like, I could not remember if it was Sixtus who wanted to go to that meeting or if it was the Arcanist who wanted to go to that lecture.
No.
So I was like, I think it might have been Sixtus.
Yeah. Yeah, so I like this where it's like really only 2 of those clues are actually in the book. Well, I guess 3, Professor, so there you go. 3 of those. But I appreciate John's ability to get 5 clues out of that.
That's impressive.
That was really good.
I like that. So of course I had to choose that one because I thought that would be funny, and it's so close after Emberdark, so. We're having...
I think those could also apply to Billy the Defector Skybreaker, probably.
I mean, do Immortals listen?
Adonalsium.
How? Okay, explain Adonalsium on that one.
Well, we don't have the origin for Adonalsium. I would say that Adonalsium has a position of prestige.
Yeah, but the namesake in our world. Explain.
Oh, that's not the... Is that the name comes from our world, is what I was going with. With the Hebrew?
Like Adonai being God.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I was coming from.
Okay. I will accept that. That's fine. It's wrong, but that's fine.
I'll take the theory that Professor Lake is actually Adonalsium in disguise.
I don't think that's true. As Professor Lake, I do not agree. Professor Lake's me, by the way, guys. That's my Tuckerization. But I didn't make this one. John Carfeld did. Okay, like they just submitted it. I'm just reading them.
Sure.
No, it's true. I don't know. Do you think I have time to make Who's That Cosmere characters, Grace? You absolutely know I do not. All right. You can find us on 17shard.com for all your news, discussion, theories, and fun that you could ever want. There is still Wind and Truth discussion. You can go look at that. The spoiler period's done. But, there's not new Stormlight content for a while. We also have a Discord, discord.gg/17shard. Come on over there. We got tons of people there. Lots of people talking about Emberdark. And you can support us on patreon.com/17shard for those outtakes and other things for as low as $1 a month. And if you desperately have money burning a hole in your pocket, you can leave a super thanks in the YouTube comments. Wow. And then I will thank you. Wow. That's all we got. So we'll be back next time for something Emberdark, something RPG. I don't know, guys. We have a lot to talk about. I don't know what we're gonna do next, but it's gonna be something. We have options here, so we'll be. There certainly are many Emberdark topics still yet to do. That is certainly true. But we will see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Caw.